Welcome yet again to our continuing YouTube video series on employment law. My name is Christopher Neufeld of Neufeld Legal, and in this particular episode we're going to be discussing a situation where you've taken a termination and severance package from your employer during the Covid-19 coronavirus pandemic, feeling the need that you have to sign off on whatever the employer has put before you, and now you're realizing maybe you didn't get enough money. Maybe you took a lousy deal, but you needed to get that package. You needed to get that money so you could move forward with your life. Because in this oil and gas industry, for people in Alberta, was just not in a good state, was not looking like it was going to recover. Meanwhile, COVID's closing down all these other jobs, and you can't just go take a minimum wage job because there isn't even any minimum wage jobs available to yourself. And maybe you said, okay, well, I'll take some government assistance for the time being. But when you look back on it, you're looking at your termination and severance package and you're saying to yourself, man, did I really get hooped? This is a lousy package that I got. But at the same time, I signed off all this paperwork. It says I'm releasing them of any claims, any liabilities. Is there anything I can do? And the fact of the matter is, there might well be stuff you can do. The fact of the matter is that even though you're put into the position of signing off your rights, there are certain rights that you can't necessarily sign off. And certain situations where there's money that's owed to you that you should be able to pursue. Even when you've signed off on the paperwork, they're very specific, although oftentimes they're a lot more frequent than you might anticipate. Given the fact that a lot of employers and HR personnel have gone in what I would call somewhat lazy in the performance of their dealings, that they operate on so many different levels, so many different people, that when it passes through all these different people, stuff gets missed, stuff gets forgotten about, and not properly addressed in a way that they don't look at and they don't deal with. And that of itself creates the problem and creates the entry point with which it is entirely possible that one might well find the means to get more money out of one's former employer. However, it requires a depth of knowledge and an understanding of what is specifically being sought. Because having looked at many of these packages and having seen where some new stuff might well exist as to how to deal with the matter and how to effectuate more money for yourself without the potential, although they're going to make it appear as so, to lose money and to get countersued by your former employer. What you can do is get your entire package, get everything reviewed by a lawyer. You might have got reviewed before by a lawyer who might have just passed through a lot of stuff, giving you the basic explanations as to, well, this sounds legitimate. You're going to be hard pressed to go fight them in court. It's possibly going to cost you more money to fight them to try to secure something. Or people just start that process, hear that, and say, throw up their hands and say, oh, I'm not going down this avenue. I'll take this lousy package. And they sign off on it, they get the money, their family is taken care of for a while, but then they have regrets. So what do you do about the regrets? Well, you tackle them. You look at them and you talk to a lawyer who's willing to speak with you as to what those regrets are and see if there is an angle available to yourself to get more money. And there might well be. There might not be, but there might be. You're not going to know unless you talk to them, that you go through with them all the documentation that you have and have them properly assess where it is. Assess what the risks are versus what the rewards are and proceed from there. So if you're looking for something like this, do not hesitate to call our office, email us, and inquire about this process, because we're more than happy to work with people to ascertain in very short order whether we are capable of finding something that we can pursue, identifying a strategy, and going through what the risk and reward situation is with respect to pursuing that particular strategy. Because even if we find a strategic approach, the risks might be different in one particular strategy as opposed to another, and the rewards might not be sufficient. The whole question is, have you looked at all the various angles? And some lawyers look at it from one angle, other lawyers look at it from different angles. So even though you might have talked to one or two lawyers, or if you've gone through the internet and assessed different things on the internet, the fact of the matter is there might be angles that haven't been looked. And what is it going to cost you to review? Other than possibly a commitment to work with that lawyer should you go forward. And if you decide not to go forward and you say it's not what you want, then you don't go forward. But if you're committed to something and there is an angle and you work with that particular lawyer, and you might well find the opportunity to pursue some significant return that you had not anticipated. Or you might have hoped for in the beginning, but then been shot down and felt lousy to take the original offer because you didn't want to pursue it. Either way, it's up to you whether or not you move forward in this particular angle. But there is opportunities that may well be available to yourself, so that lousy termination severance package that you took just a short while ago might be possible to throw it out and get something better. Well, actually, I'm not going to even suggest to throw it out. I'm saying, let me correct myself on that. You keep that package, and then on top of that, you get something better. That is what I meant to say, and that is what we pursue. You keep what you got, hopefully, and that the objective that is, and then on top of that, you get something more. And there's some strategies for that, but it has to be specific to the factual situation and the pursuit that we undertake. So I hope you found this YouTube video of interest. If you want to speak with myself, telephone number and email address is available. And feel free to contact us in confidence, and we can start the process of seeing how we approach these matters and ascertain whether or not the risk and the reward are there for you to move forward and get something more than what you felt you got in this lousy termination and severance package. Thank you.